Kia ora everyone and welcome back to Civilization 6. I had a request in my live stream to talk about domination civs, and so I thought, actually, you know what, let's do it. I haven't talked about it much. So today I'm going to take you through my top 4 picks for domination victory in Civilization 6. I'm not going to cover the top civs, which I've already covered in a separate video. So in my other video, first link in the doodly-doo, basically I covered the best civs in the game. Those civs are obviously good for domination victory, so do check them out. But these ones are going to be unique. Anyway, let's jump straight in and talk about Alexander of Macedon, because this one is very exciting and quite different. As I go through this video, I'll also talk about at least one civ from the base game. So there will be something in this video for all players, regardless of which DLCs you have, but I'd encourage you to listen through anyway, because you might end up picking up these civs one day, and you may also end up playing against them, right? Always good to know what your opponent is up to. So, Alexander, what does he do? Well, this first sentence really says it all. Cities do not incur war weariness. This is massive. What this means is Alexander can constantly be at war and not face those growth or happiness, amenities, penalties that would otherwise be faced when you're at war. This means that Alexander can stay at war for longer and not face any of those drawbacks, while his opponents will suffer them. Furthermore, all military units heal completely when this player captures a city with a world wonder. It's a nice to have, right? You take a city, they've got a wonder, all of your units heal, you can move on. We see a common theme emerging in Alexander's playstyle, and that is his ability to just stay at war. No war weariness, full heals when you capture a city with a wonder, right? Fantastic. Let me tell you a bit more about it though, because it's Alexander's synergies that really make Alexander a top pick for a domination victory. Let's talk through them. I'm going to jump to his unique units firstly. So you've got the Macedonian unique melee unit that replaces the swordsman, okay? +5 combat strength when besieging districts. Nice to have, just a straight bonus over the swordsman. And 50% additional support unit bonuses as well. So if you're trucking along with your siege tower or what have you, or you've got flanking units, you're going to benefit from that. Next up, we also have their unique cavalry. They get not one, but 2, right? If that wasn't good enough already, you've got 2 unique war units here. So it does replace the heavy cavalry. It receives +5 combat strength when adjacent to a great general. And +5 great general points, the ones that you need to actually get a great general in the first place, when killing an enemy unit. It also starts with a free promotion. That's a lot to take in, but let's talk about how that works. So you create it, it starts with a free promotion. Boom. Next up, it has +5 combat strength when adjacent to a great general. So you want to have it with them clustered around your great general. Also, they generate great generals when they kill enemy units. So there's this snowballing effect of great generals here that shouldn't be understated. Now, let's talk about the next part of Alexander's war machine that helps Alexander stay at war. You have these strong units, you have no war weariness, and this unique building is important and synergizes well with Hellenistic fusion. So, their unique building. It's unique to Macedon, +25% combat experience for all melee and ranged land units. Okay, sweet. So we're getting faster promotions. We're getting free promotions and faster promotions. We also gain science equal to 25% of the unit's cost when a military unit is created in the city. That's important because it stacks with this Hellenistic fusion. When conquering an enemy city that is not a free city, you receive a eureka for each encampment or campus in the conquered city. So potentially 2 eurekas, and an inspiration for each holy site and theatre district. Again, potentially 2 inspirations. Now, why does that synergize with this, you might ask? Well, when you gain science equal to 25% of a unit's cost, you are generating science in a way that other players can't do it. You're using your war and your war machine and your war efforts to create science. Likewise, with Hellenistic fusion, when you capture cities, you're receiving free eurekas, which is basically free science, and free inspirations, which is, again, basically free culture. So you can see how Macedon and Alexander come together to be this war machine, right? An unstoppable war machine that can get away with putting less focus on science and culture, because war generates science and culture for you as Alexander. I won't go on about Macedon anymore, but do know a really exciting, fun pick because the war machine under Alexander just goes and goes and goes. Next up, let's talk about my second pick. That's Gilgamesh. Okay, Gilgamesh, what do you do? Well, Gilgamesh is great at the ancient era wars in particular, okay? Gilgamesh does war fast, and Gilgamesh does it well. Particularly when you have allies, so you can rope in the AI very easily. The AI will be more likely to want to join your side because they receive benefits, and in a multiplayer game, your allies will be thankful too. Why? Well, let's discuss. When at war with a common foe, Gilgamesh shares pillage rewards with his allies, and also combat experience within 5 tiles. So your allies are more likely to favour this war. Also, alliances gain alliance points for being at war with a common foe, so you can level up your alliances, plus 5 combat strength against units of players at war with you or your ally. So you just get a flat out plus 5 combat strength bonus when you're fighting someone. And your allies receive that too. It's a win-win. Really strong, unique, just fundamental bonus. Let's talk more about their early game strategy though, because again, you see wonderful synergies here with Gilgamesh. So, epic quests, when you capture a barbarian outpost, which you're probably going to do because you're probably going to have a lot of early warring units, you receive a tribal village goody hut reward in addition to the normal gold. So barbarian encampments act as tribal huts for you. Fantastic. You can also pay half the usual cost to levy city-state units, which you may or may not need to do. But what's really exciting about Gilgamesh is his war cart. Okay, so the war cart is an ancient era heavy cavalry unit replacement. It ignores zone of control and has +1 movement in open terrain. It also has no maintenance. Also, no penalties against anti-cavalry units. So in this game of rock, paper, scissors, you've got rock and you're not afraid of paper because paper does nothing to you. It does nothing extra, okay? You choose rock and you win or draw every time. Also 4 movement if this unit starts in open terrain. So you get that, like I said, you get that 1 extra bonus. So you can move fast with no noticeable weakness in the ancient era. And you get +5 combat strength when you're at war with someone. And once you've finished fighting them, you can tidy up the barbarian encampments and get extra bonuses from them too. This is a really powerful, synergetic, early game rush strategy, okay? You want to be rushing them down, particularly before they get walls, ideally. So you want to be moving fast within the sort of maybe around turn 40 you're striking. I should also say the unique improvement unlocks the builder ability to construct this, +2 science, +1 culture if next to a river. Can't be built on hills. It's a wonderful little scientific tile improvement that can help you keep up advancing that war stick as you move beyond the ancient era, right? So this is sort of your let's not fall behind, here's some science and culture to keep you up, because you probably invested quite heavily in war, particularly at the start of the game. But I would encourage you to do it all the way through. Don't get me wrong. Gilgamesh, an absolute warrior. I love playing games with as Gilgamesh. It's something actually I haven't done an awful lot of. So if you guys would like to see me play that live, I'd love to hear about it. So do let me know down below in the comments. Mapuche is going to be my honorable mention. I'm not going to spend too much time on Mapuche, but I do just want you just quickly, let's just pay attention to Swift Talk, +10 combat strength when fighting free cities or civilizations that are in a golden or heroic age. Defeating an enemy unit within the borders of their city causes them to lose loyalty. I would also add their unique unit down the bottom there, the Mapuche Renaissance Raider, +5 combat strength bonus within 4 hexes of friendly city. So basically the strategy here is to sort of flip them with loyalty. It's not quite a domination victory, but a fun one that I thought I would just throw in and mention, particularly because Mapuche changed a bit with the latest update. Anyway, let me move on to one that I think all players can enjoy. I'm, of course, talking about... Can you guess? Should I give it away? Let's do it. It's Scythia, okay? So, Scythia. Killer of Cyrus. Let's talk about Scythia's unique leader ability. All units receive +5 combat strength when attacking wounded units. And when they finish off those wounded units, they heal. So you're stronger against weak units, and when you kill them, you heal. Again, we kind of see that Macedon effect coming through here, where the war machine fuels the war machine. We see an exponential growth in the war machine. You're stronger against enemy units, and when you kill them, you heal. So you can keep that war machine going and just push through. How does that stack with the rest of Scythia? Pretty well, actually. So, people of the steppe, when you train their unique unit, or a light cavalry unit in general, you receive a second copy of it. Train one, get two. Buy one, get one free, folks. Buy one, get one free. Powerful in the early game. They have their unique unit which replaces the archer. It's the Saka horse archer. This is, as I say, it's a Scythian unique classical era unit. Again, very early game. It basically trades off range for mobility. So it's faster than the normal archer, or you can move further, +1 in open terrain, and 4 base units. It ignores zone of control, a nice to have. Also costs no maintenance, which is nice. But more importantly, the trade-off for that movement is reduced range. So the normal archer can shoot a range of 2 hexes, this one only 1. It isn't the absolute best unique unit of all time because of these trade-offs, but buy one, get one free, early game, fast moving so you can cover land fast. I would recommend an early dominatory strategy with Scythia, but just remember you always have this passive effect. So you don't just have to go hard and fast, you can do it early. Their unique tile improvement, it's a nice to have, lots of gold, but doesn't particularly synergize well with the rest unless you intend to use gold to purchase military units, and that's something that I would encourage you to do. Last but not least, I think it wouldn't be fair if I didn't mention Shaka of Zulu. So, let's talk Zulu. It's my last pick of the day, and it's a very exciting one. Okay, so, what does Shaka do? Well, Shaka can form corps with the mercenaries civic and armies with the nationalism civic. This is much earlier than every other player in the game. You also receive an additional +5 base combat strength to these corps and armies. So you can get corps and armies, that's when you sort of combine 2 similar units into one, and they get the wee star above them, 2-star or 3-star. It basically just means you've got 2 of them sharing a tile, or 3 of them sharing a tile, okay? Shaka does that faster and stronger. Now let's talk about Zulu more broadly. Cities with a garrison unit get +3 loyalty, +5 if it's a corps or an army, so you can see that synergy with the corps and the armies. Conquering a city with a unit that isn't a corps or army allows it to upgrade into one, if you've got the civics unlocked. So basically, you can get free units, effectively, from taking cities. Okay? Very strong. Let's talk units. The Zulu unique medieval unit replaces the pikeman. It receives an increased flanking bonus. It's also of lower cost, lower maintenance, and it earns experience faster. This is basically your anti-Sumeria, your anti-Macedon unit, right? It levels up faster, it's cheaper, it's easier to build, and it receives flanking bonuses. So you sort of move them around as a pair, move around the side of the enemies, really do a lot of damage. The Ikanda is also really interesting. So this is their encampment. Right, it's unique to the Zulu. It replaces their encampment. It provides +1 housing, which is nice to have because you may be less focused on growth as you're fueling the war machine. Once the appropriate civic is met, so again, mercenaries and nationalism, corps and armies can be built outright. Wonderful, fantastic. Buildings in Ikanda also receive +2 gold and +1 science, faster corps and armies. So you can see a real synergy through Shaka and Zulu that would benefit some slightly more advanced players, perhaps, around corps and armies. You get them faster, they're stronger, and if you've got your impy corps and armies, they're really, really good. Plus, you receive some outright housing, gold, science bonuses. Really nice to have. You want to focus down encampments, you want to focus down the impy, and you want to, again, push your culture as well. Don't neglect your culture because you need to get these civics to get your fast corps and armies. And you will, I promise, absolutely steamroll the enemy if you can get this in place. Unlike some of the other civs that I've covered, you can see that Shaka really comes into its strength, the Shakar really come into their strength around the sort of early to mid game, right? Around the medieval era is when you're going to want to start pumping out the war machine. As soon as you get your cores and your armies, you can go for it. Other than that, that concludes this video. Now, is this an extensive list of domination civs in Civ 6? No. Are these the best ones? I think you're going to find great success with them. As I said at the start of the video, I'm not covering the overall powerful civs like Germany, Japan that I covered in my other video, but do check that out in the description because all of those guys are good for domination. What I've covered here are some specific civs that do domination really well, and I think you'll find success with them. Other than that, that concludes today's video. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I'll catch you in the next one.